Alright, what up everyone? My name's Paradoxic. This is going to be a easy kind of beginner strat tutorial for the Covenant on Legendary. This level is not as hard as the Ark, in my opinion, to learn, but it is still one of the harder levels for people to get the hang of. This one isn't going to be super in-depth. I'm just going to go over some basic strats that'll help you a lot while you're learning this level. And let's get started. So, as soon as the level begins, you want to hold B to get out of the Pelican early. Like that. And now when you start this fight, there are a couple different things you want to be aware of. So there's a spawning group of grunts here. There's a group of grunts and a brute there. And there's another group of grunts right here. Now, all of these grunts are going to... There's always going to be those groups. And this is important to think about when we're clearing the beach after we've done the first part of beach clear up front. When we turn around and clear out enemies and kind of clean up some grunts, we're going to be looking to the sides for these side spawns to try and take out grunts on the sides, because as we make our way through first, we're going to take out the grunts in the middle. So I'll kind of show what that looks like. So we're going to hold B to get out early. I throw one grenade at these grunts, and I walk around this log. Don't jump over this log, because it's going to change the brute pathing like that so that he walks behind that rock. So go around the log, charge up a laser, and try and hit the brute and as many grunts as you can. Grenade around the log. Oh, I almost got them, but I didn't get all of them. That brute has to die in order... So that brute and 6 grunts have to die in order to spawn the next wave of enemies. I'm waiting for my marines to take out some. There we go. So that was the spawn. In that wave of enemies is a chieftain with a fuel rod gun, 2 brutes, and an innumerable number of grunts. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. 6? To get a perfect beach clear, you want to try and shoot those, the chieftain with the laser as soon as he spawns. There we go. So that time I'm going to try and clean up some grunts. I didn't kill enough to get the spawn. As you can see, there's no spawned enemies. They spawned a little late. So if we don't get the enemy spawn, we're going to use our laser shot to take out one of the turrets instead. So, here. So I didn't kill much there. So there they are. So I got 1,212, which is really good. So we turn around, and we look for enemies here, and we take them out like that. We're going to walk this way, try and take out that guy with the laser, and then as many grunts as we can. We turn around to help clear out any grunts if there are any remaining. And that was a really good beachhead clear. That was pretty solid. I didn't actually look at the time, but that's really good. I'm going to do that one more time. Hey, Gogo. The world record beach clear is on Legendary is 27 seconds by Sorix. I'll put a link to that in the video description. But you should be able to get pretty good times with it if you just follow this beach clear. So I didn't kill enough enemies to get God Laser. So we're going to kill one there and take out that. Turn around. Try and take out these enemies while they spawn. And now there's going to be a chieftain spawned here. There he goes. And all we're doing here is we're just trying to kill enemies. This is what you do in a full game. All of these have to be dead. So that was a 52. That's a little more common. So those are a couple different ways to do beach clear. I'm not going to go over... Well, no, I won't. There is another method. You'll notice History steals this AA Wraith, History 100. That is another technique you can do if you know how to steal AA Wraiths. It skips all of this next fighting in the next area, but really getting a good beach clear and then taking the Mongoose up the hill is just as fast, if not faster, than taking the AA Wraith, and it's pretty consistent. So make sure you pick up these frags here on the ground. You want to have full frags. I like to take the BR up. You can take either the BR or the fuel rod. It's kind of up to you. We're going to try and take out... You don't have to take out those Banshees, but you want to stand here and hold B to force this guy to get out of the Mongoose, and then get in the Mongoose and take the Mongoose up the hill. The Mongoose is faster going uphill than the Warthog. Even though the Warthog has a higher top speed, the Mongoose, the Warthog can't maintain that top speed going up this hill. Good, so just take this path, this driving path that I take. It's pretty solid. Sometimes you will get shot by the Banshees, but, you know, that's kind of whatever. Just avoid the ghosts and take that driving path. You'll be fine. Then, as you make your way up this hill, you can kind of aim a little right at this grunt to force him to jump out of the way. You're going to pick up a beam rifle, pick up the ghost, and drive on down into this next area. You'll notice during the beach fight, or if I get out you can see, during the beach fight you'll notice I picked up a bubble shield. That's really important. You want to always make sure that you leave beach fight with a bubble shield, because it makes the tower entrance here feasible. Otherwise, it's really difficult. The checkpoint for this section is way back here, so keep that in mind. You won't get a checkpoint until you clear the chieftain up top. So this is a very long reset if you mess this up. The beam rifle we just picked up there is what we're going to use to clear third tower, so it's not going to be... You don't have to use it for this tower clear. When I get here, I'm going to wait, and we're just waiting for these enemies to come out a little bit right there like that. Sometimes you want to wait a little bit because you don't have shields, because the turret or the Wraith is taking your shields down. But waiting there is generally a consistency strat. It is possible to just go straight in, but unless you're going for world record, you don't need that time save. So I took a little bit of damage. We're going to wait for that to come back. I'm just going to chill right here. And then I'm going to drop in, look up at the ceiling, and drive in. That was bad, as you can see. Sometimes you bounce off enemies. The reason I'm looking up into the ceiling is because I don't want the auto-aim from the ghosts to pull... It can lock onto enemies and pull your trajectory. You don't want it to do that. So I look up into the ceiling, thank you Sorux for that idea, to prevent yourself from getting pulled by enemy auto-aim. Wait here for shields, and we're going to drop in. Oh boy. As you can see, hard. Ideally you want to try and hit that turret with your ghost and destroy the turret so it isn't a problem. Okay, we're going to chill. We're going to drop in just by these rocks. So I threw the bubble shield down right there. If you throw the bubble shield down so that it blocks off this corner, you don't need to worry about anything, and you can just run in through this door. If you throw the bubble shield down on this side so that this corner is open, the brute can shoot you from there. So anyway, I'll do that one more time.
Ma'am, we're on the ground. Third tower in sight.
Good. The Arbiter and the Elites have touched out at number 2.
You will notice that sometimes this ghost rides up on enemies, which makes it very difficult. Okay, so that was pretty decent. We're gonna need to kill this guy, though, because he's outside the bubble shield, and make our way in. You'll notice that sometimes you'll see people snipe that brute. All we're doing there... Oh! What we're doing there is we're preventing the brute from getting in our... from blowing up a box that we need for exit. Okay, this hardly happens, but if this does happen, you can attempt a very difficult jump. I missed it. This jump is really hard. Oh, I forgot that's there. Okay. It's fine. We'll do this section.
Ma'am, we're on the ground.
Normally, as long as you don't mess up that jump, those boxes will always be there.
Touched out at number 2.
Oh, okay, so that was a great entrance. That's what you really want to have. So I missed the brute. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna use... Sometimes that happens. That was just me not hitting the jump button properly.
Ma'am, we're on the ground. Third tower in sight.
Good. The Arbiter and the Elites have touched out at number 2.
Example of a very bad setup, or a very bad entrance. Sometimes you'll notice the ghost rides up on enemies, and I haven't figured out any way to deal with that. It's just something you gotta try and gauge. You can manipulate, try and avoid the ghost from riding up on enemies by waiting to see where the enemies are. Generally, the longer you wait, the more dispersed the enemies will be, and the less chance you will have of the ghost riding up on enemies. So, for example, if we wait here, alright, let's make this entrance this time. So I killed the brute. Hopefully he doesn't blow up our box now that we want for exit. And we pick up the power drain here and take out these guys. You'll notice I run in circles here. All that's doing is stopping enemies from targeting me. Throw a grenade right here, and get up onto the center of this platform. We're going to look up, jump early, throw a power drain, and throw a grenade very quickly in quick succession. And what we're doing here is we want that chieftain to drop his invents, like that, so we can pick it up. And we also want his hammer. Okay. That was not great. The ammo I have in my hammer is not great, only 59. It can go up to, I believe, 94 or 96 is the... No, 94. 95? is the maximum. At this point, I like to look down and see if there's a dead brute. If there's a dead brute, it means the enemies are less in control. And all you want to do here is activate camo as you drop down, and just run through. I like to do a little grenade jump here too.
Johnson, can you hear me?
And the camo will run out just as you get here. You want to make sure you pick up the plasmas here and the invisibility, active camo. Sorry, I said camo before, I meant invince. I like to aim between these two moss here, and I try and headshot this guy. Sometimes he has a chance of dropping frags. If he does drop frags, it's kind of cool because you've got some frags to use then for the next section. If he doesn't, oh well. And then we kind of make our way down to the beach. This is a bit of a lull in the speedrun. There's not much to say here. You just want to drive and avoid the trees. Try and keep the Warthog's top speed. I like to hold emergency brake as I go over this twig, helps. Alright, and that's essentially the first act of the Covenant done. So here we want to get in our Hornet, and we're going to drive it. I aim for these rocks right here, and as you make your way out, these are called shark strats. I like them. Drop the bottom of your Hornet into the water, like that. And it's hard to tell if this actually has an effect, it's just kind of fun. But I never die doing these strats. Taking this path, as soon as you hit the shade, you're going to start rising up. Okay, I aim for the peak right here, and you want to try and stay close to the cliffs here. If you go too far to the right, or too far to the left, sorry, away from the cliffs, it's easier to get targeted by the Banshees.
Objective in sight, Commander.
Okay, we're going to go in between these two trees. We don't want to shoot these guys, we're just going to come in and drop down right here.
Clear an LZ. Then
And
get
what we're
inside
doing
the
is we want to try and snipe one guy there, and a bunch of enemies here. So there are a couple different ways to deal with this entrance. The easiest way that I'm just going to show you guys is the brute shot method. And to do the brute shot method, you're just going to shoot a couple brutes, wait for the other brutes to make their way over to the left,
Objective in sight.
and pick up a brute shot and juggle it in to the next area.
Understood. Chief, clear an LZ. Then get inside the tower.
Okay. Alright, so, because of the way that's set up, which is really rare, I don't have a brute shot, so instead, I'm going to use this technique here. Make sure you have a frag grenade, walk into this corner for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to jump out, and you want to aim on the ground right where I'm shooting. You're going to bounce a grenade off that. A frag grenade. One, 2, 3, jump out, bounce a grenade. 468 is enough of a multi-kill that it makes these guys go away. And then we're just going to jump on here and jump up onto this middle platform. It's not a very difficult hammer jump to make. And then we hit the elevator and we come on here. Now if you have low hammer ammo, it's a good idea to throw a grenade and do this grenade jump up. But if you do that, you need to do it faster than I did it there. Because you need to have a certain amount of health to do another jump a little bit later. 1, 2, 3. Grenade. 260, that's not enough. So the enemies are still going to be after us. One, 2, 3. 520, that is enough. Okay, Throw a grenade. On top. We're waiting here for a checkpoint and a loading done. So you see this loading done? As soon as the text settles, throw a grenade and jump up. And all we're doing here is... Oops. Killing those guys before they have a chance to really animate. And if you kill them fast enough, you'll notice that that guy's AI kind of breaks, which is kind of cool. But an important thing to note is that if you walk forwards in this room, you're going to trigger the enemies to leave their positions over there. So as long as you stay back here, the enemies will not move forwards. But if you're trying to shoot them while walking forwards, they're going to start moving earlier. Loading done, wait for the text to settle, throw a grenade, jump up and to the left. 1, 2. There we go. So that's all of them. I didn't break his AI. That's fine. We're going to shoot, melee to stun him, walk around his back, and melee him like that. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Oops. Wait for the loading done text to settle. Throw a grenade. Up and left. So that was my fault. I didn't wait. Oh my god, that was so lucky. I didn't wait long enough between... I didn't wait long enough between shots, and so my plasma sniper overheated. So 1, 2, 3, oops. Okay, that's everyone. His AI is broken, so I don't have to melee. Oh, I will have to do it to him. 1, 2, come around behind. And then I like to pick up a plasma rifle, because the next section you're going to want a plasma rifle. So make your way through these guys. I find it helps not to... throw a grenade or anything. You're going to hit this, turn around, walk back, hit this, and now turn around and jump into the tower. Now, if you are late doing that, you will die, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I do this, and let's say I just walk backwards like this, find it, okay, do a bunch of fighting, and so I'm late, and now the thing's all the way down here, and I'm going to die due to fall timer before getting to the elevator. So you have to be fast when you do this. And the reason I said turn around and walk is because in this game it's 10% faster to turn around, to walk forwards, than it is to walk backwards. So turn around, walk to here, turn around, walk back, jump in, you're good. And then I like to stand here and just crouch. Sometimes you get a checkpoint here, which is nice. So if you do get a checkpoint, you're solid. Otherwise, you just have to play. So this box here, if it doesn't get messed up by hunters, can be used for a hammer launch. Nice. Okay, we're gonna go for a checkpoint here. No checkpoint? Damn it. No, we got one. Nice, just before the load. So we're gonna try this box. Okay. That was a pretty good launch. You keep in mind you can splatter yourself. Now I like to, for safety strats here, you can throw a grenade there. It's good to hide behind these boxes here, because sometimes these hunters, instead of interacting with these brutes, these hunters will be trying to shoot you like that guy is. And if you're hiding behind these boxes, it's harder for them to hit you. So let's see. If I get a really fast launch, I'm not going to throw a grenade at the door. So that was a slow launch. So I'm going to go behind these boxes, wait here, throw it. Oops. Didn't go behind the boxes enough. Wait here. Throw a grenade. Good. Make our way in. And now here, we're going to turn around. So you can either fight your way through like this. What I like to do, because sometimes he doesn't drop a bubble, I like to turn around, jump, and hammer my way backwards through this section. And it makes it so that the fuel rod guy can't ever actually really hit you. It does cost you 1 hammer ammo, though, to do it, so it's something you have to keep in mind when you're thinking about your hammer ammo. So that was actually a good launch, so I'm not going to throw a plasma grenade that time. I'm going to hide behind this box for a little bit, turn around and hammer my way through, and hope I make it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So that was a bad launch. We're going to stand here and wait. Like that. Okay, they're all embroiled with the flood. Good. We're going to make our way through. Try not to get shot at by the brutes. Good. And we're going to take this guy's rockets. If you're going for an IL, you probably wouldn't take his rockets to save time. But the rockets are going to help us survive the Scarabs and get through the Citadel. And also, they can help us sometimes with getting the hammer, if we need extra hammer ammo. So we're going to go ahead and take the Warthog. You can take the Mongoose, but the Warthog is just... I'm used to doing this drive with the Warthog. Try and hug this wall, because we want to avoid that Prowler as it comes around the corner. It's always going to be a little scary here because you feel like you're going to die, but you hardly ever die. Now we're going to slow down as we come over this hump so we don't get launched off the side. And take whatever driving path you want. Ah, so, okay. What I just hit there's a broken piece of geometry in where 2 polygons meet. It's quite large, and if you're hitting that, either you need to go faster off the lip or you need to go slower. You're just kind of in a bad, happy medium point there where you're hitting the polygon. So you either need to find a driving path that goes faster, which is what I would recommend, or one that goes slower off that lip. Now, Sorix told me not to tell people about this, but I feel bad not telling people. If you come down this hill at full speed, at top speed, you will die to the fall timer, so I'll show that. Let's see if I can do it, actually. I might survive this. Yeah, okay. So, the way the fall timer works in Halo 3 is they calculate your downward velocity, and once your downward velocity reaches a certain rate, it kills you, because it assumes that you've been falling for too long. So to avoid that, we're going to slow down. We're just going to let go of holding forwards as we make our way down that hill. I might hit the polygon here. I didn't, thank God. Okay, so we're going to go up. Make our way over this hill. Good, and as we make our way down this, I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to hold forwards again. And I want to aim so that the right wheel hits this little edge that I was standing on. You want your right front wheel to go off that edge. And that'll make your landing super nice and smooth.
Citadel in sight. Troops are mobilizing everything they've got.
So that was the polygon I hit again. Alright, so we're going fast. We're going to let go for a sec, hold forwards again, try and get our right wheel off that. And what that does is that makes our landing pretty smooth there. Good checkpoint. And now we're going to pick up the Hornets. Make sure you pick up the far Hornet because the guy gets out first on it. And okay, this section is quite hard for a lot of people. I'm going to show you one method of doing it, but there are many. Pay attention to where I park my Hornet. So I try and park my Hornet so that the nose is on the Scarab like that, and then I turn around and watch where it falls so I know where to land. I have a visual cue so that I can kill the Scarab as soon as the Scarab stops its entrance animation. And now, well, that was a bad Hornet landing, so we're going to try it again.
Hornets inbound.
We drop down here to hide behind this little cliff to try and stop the Scarab and the Banshee from aggroing us. But we're going to put our nose here, watch it as it falls so we know where it's landing. Look for our visual cue so when the Scarab stops moving, we can kill the Scarab. Okay, this was okay. You want to hit this Hornet fast, otherwise it gets stuck underneath the Scarab as the Scarab is descending. I like to fire a couple shots at these guys, and then drop down and get out. Land on the leg, and land at the back. We're going to kill this Scarab, and now I wait to get my bearings. And I jump out, and I look at this turret, and I look around for ghosts, because ghosts can really fuck you up. So there's one right there. He's not aiming at me, luckily, but now he's going to. We're going to shoot a rocket to take him out. Good. And we get a checkpoint after that Scarab dies, which is always nice. Now we're looking for the Warthog or a Ghost. We can take either vehicle. In a full game run, take whatever vehicle you can find. So if it is a Ghost, we're going to take the Ghost. And we just want to get up here to a trigger. We need to be up here for Arbiter to start his dialogue. Now, if we kill him once he starts his dialogue, we can skip it, and then the bridge opens up immediately. Now, once we get here, we're not going to be... There's a barrier here we can't take the Ghost through. So what we do is we park it right here, get out. This is with the Ghost. We're going to back up a bit. I messed that up. And melee hammer launch the Ghost through the barrier like that, and then we can get back on the Ghost and drive it through the cutscene. Now we're overlapping a Cortana moment and a cutscene at the same time here. So I'm just going to skip them. You can skip the cutscene. It overlaps the Cortana moment like this. But that's fine, for me at least. You can choose to wait it if you'd prefer. Now, to set up... Okay, this is one of the hardest parts of this level. There are two... Where are they? Oh, it's better with this. There are two Fuel Rod Grunts, Brute, and then a bunch of enemies. The Flood are going to help your fight here, but they can sometimes get in your way, so that's something to keep in mind. To set up the Citadel Launch, we're going to walk into this box, look right here, just where these kind of vertical grayish brown lines are, where we're going to line up our hammer reticle with the bottom of that one and melee the box in that position. Then we walk around to the front, and we're going to melee kind of the very top of the box, like that, and we're going to see what kind of setup we got. So, we got what's called a sliding setup. You'll notice if I land on the box, I slide. There's another setup you can get called a standing setup, which is where you can land on the box and stand on it. That standing setup is the most optimal setup, but we can try it with a sliding setup. What we want to do is we want to get on the box and slide down the box, and then hammer when our hammer reticle hits this blue line on the wall. So let's give it a try. That was good, but obviously I died. So let's try this again. I'm going to walk into where the box and the corner of the wall meet, till I'm right there. I look up. Just below the lines, I hammer. Look up above the blue. Top of the box, hammer. We got sliding set up. We're going to jump. So that was a pretty good launch. I would then activate my camo and make my way through. You'll notice that these jetpack brutes jump down. If they do jump down, it means you're good and you haven't soft locked. I will show you what I mean by soft locking. I will try and intentionally get a launch that's too good. Oh wow, I thought that was going to be a standing setup. I should have kept that. That would have been good. Okay, so I have a standing setup here. So for a standing setup, you're going to look at this. You're going to stand on this and crouch. 1, 2, 3. We're going to line the third line up with the top of the box like that. Okay? And then we're going to keep crouching, stand here, put our hammer right at the level of this guy, and swing. And this is probably the best launch you can get. Oops, unless I hit that brute. It's super consistent when you do get standing set up, and you're guaranteed to get a launch that almost for sure won't soft lock, which is really nice. I'm going to try it again. We got sliding set up this time, so we're going to go for the sliding swing. As you can see, I got killed by fuel rod grunts. I'll mention the reason for the difference, one of the reasons at least, for the difference between sliding setup and standing setup is something called a box settling times. That was bad. I didn't wait. I just went. When an object spawns in Halo 3, it spawns above the ground, and then gravity takes hold of the object, and it collides with the ground, and it then continues performing collision with the ground for around 10 seconds, or as long as it takes the object to do what's called settle, where the game decides that the object has moved, has the movement of the object, every collision check, is small enough that it can be considered stationary, and the game will stop performing collision checks. So, the position of this box, if you run into this box while those collision checks are still happening, you will be influencing the final position that that box ends up at once it's settled. And so, as a result, the melee setup to get this box for a standing position will be slightly different every time if you've been running into this box while it's still settling. So it's kind of luck of a draw whether or not you get standing setup or sliding setup, but just be able to do both of them and you should be okay. We're going to try sliding again. That was a really interesting launch. You'll notice if I walk into this box, I'm moving it a little bit as I do this. Melee. Sliding setup. Nope, standing. Okay. This is a strange angle, but we're going to go for it. Line it up. Line it up. Perfect. So, that launch I got right there was actually too high, and I skipped a trigger. If you do get a soft lock, you'll know you get a soft lock because those jetpack brutes I pointed out earlier will not jump down. They'll remain at the top and they'll look as though their AI is broken. 2 standings in a row. This will not soft lock, as you can see, these guys have jumped down. So we're going to activate our camo and make our way through here. Sometimes this door will be open. If it is open, turn around. I like to kill everything like that, and then maybe take out this brute as well. That way you can take his hammer. Sometimes that brute will use his invincibility, in which case just run away from him. Now, when you walk through here, if these flood drop down from the ceiling, you've done a good job. That means you haven't soft-locked, and the level will play as intended. When I get here, I like to swap out the rockets for a needler. I'm going to pick up that rocket later, so you want to make sure that it's loaded. And if you did go through the inside of that building, then this button will be active. If you don't go through the inside of that building, the button will not be active and you'll have to jump. So let me show that. That was unlucky. Oh, I already know I'm not going to get standing with this. Maybe I did. Oh, look at that. Third. Here. So you'll notice they jump down. That means we're good. We haven't soft locked. So the doors have closed. There's no way for us to get through right now without killing the chieftain. So instead, we can just hammer jump like this over top. Now, they will follow us, so it's still a good idea to kill them. And you'll note that we hardly have any hammer ammo now when we do that technique. But anyway, I'm not going to do it because I want to have enough hammer to show you the rest of the level. So what I'm going to do is do one and take the hammer so that I have enough hammer to do the ending launches. I totally thought that was going to be standing. Whoa, whoops. That was hilarious. That was great. Oh, the door just closed. So he used his invents. I'm kind of trying to bait. Oh god. That was an example where he used his invents. I was trying to bait him so that I could get his hammer. Let's try this again. So again, that was not the greatest launch I've ever had. And that may have soft locked, we're gonna see. Some of them did jump down, or one of them did jump down, I thought, which was strange. I just got a checkpoint. I just want to have this hammer to show you guys. Let's see if it did soft lock, though. We didn't soft lock. So if you go through the inside and these flood jump down, we didn't get the soft lock. So we should be okay. And I don't need to do this, but I'll just show it to you guys. If you did go over the top, you need to do this ending jump. Like that. When this cutscene comes up, don't press A immediately, because there's a chance, again, that you will soft lock. So wait a little bit. You don't have to wait a long time, but wait for that cutscene. Now, the easiest way to get through this section is to jump around these flood. This is called the MIB special. If you'll notice, there's a dead brute, usually, on this ramp, which is really useful. And now we're going to combine a plasma slide jump and backwards hammer jump all at the same time to get lots of distance. And then maybe chain it with one more. As we do that, we're going to hit a trigger that's going to spawn some enemies to come down from on top of this. And then we're going to have to deal with the enemies that come out of that door. So let's hope I get a good MIB special. That was an okay MIB special. These are the enemies I'm talking about that drop down. I'm going to take out one, pick up the rockets. I use these rockets to kill a lot of these enemies. Oh, I could have used I had a regen I could have used. Alternatively, if you don't want to go inside, that was a much better MIB special. If you don't want to go inside the building, throw a grenade there, turn around, and, oops, hammer jump up top, like so, if you have a lot of hammer ammo. Make your way sideways to this box right here, and we're going to box launch down this ramp. Sometimes there will be a DC there, which is kind of in your way, which is annoying, but you'll make do. Like that. Throw a grenade there to kill a bunch of enemies as they come out, and I like to hammer jump up top here. You can make your way through the inside of the building, but it's just easier to make your way along the top.
I'm a thief, but I keep what I steal.
Okay. If you are going to carry over to Cortana and you want to keep your hammer, you want to make sure you take a needler or a plasma pistol or a brute shot. We're going to push this box against this wall so it's out of the way. And I like to use this line right here, and I do melee once. I look at the box, and you kind of get a sense for where it's aiming, so it's kind of aiming right there. It's not a perfect launch, but we're going to try it and see what we get. So it's a little too far. Let's say we want to carry over. Oh, you can just pick up a plasma rifle right here. Good. Plasma pistol. Melee once. That's a little too far again, but we're going to go for it. So that was an okay launch. Let me try it again until I get a good one. We'll switch to the hammer. Melee once. So that's too far, I can tell. And that's too far to the left, to the right. This is a hard launch because it's right at the end. Let's try this one. We stand here. You can even use the rockets as like a line of sight. That was a better one. But we can get better. Let's keep going until we get... This is my favorite launch in the game, so... There we go. That was pretty good. And all you're going to do is make your way here and jump down into this hole. If you jump right as you hit... the best jump is to just not hit your head and fall straight into the hole like that. And there you go. That is the Covenant on Legendary, in a nutshell.